Hello everyone, I am Dr. Reena Gupta, Senior Consultant and Fertility Specialist at Baby Science IVF Clinics, Delhi. So today I will be talking about male infertility. Male infertility is also rising day by day. So when we look at the causes of infertility, around 30% of the cases, the reason for infertility is only the male factor, and in another 30% of cases, male factor is also contributing the infertility. So around 40 to 50% cases of infertility are because of male factor. So when we talk about male factor infertility, the most common test we get it done is semen analysis, which tells us about the fertility status of the male partner. In semen analysis, there are three important things which one should look for. One is the count, that is the sperm count. By WHO guidelines, it should be more than 15 million per ml. If it is less than that, then we call it as oligospermia. Second is motility. The progressive motility or the motility should be around 40%. Third is morphology, that means how the sperms look to us under the microscope. That should be around 4%. So these three things are important when we are looking at the semen analysis report. And on the basis of semen analysis report, we see the causes of male infertility. The one thing is oligospermia, that means the count is low. If the count is very low, that means less than 10 million per ml, then it is difficult for that patient to conceive naturally. Similarly, if the motility is low, less than 20%, then also it is difficult for the sperm to reach to the egg naturally and fertilize the egg. And third is morphology. So when we see a patient who has all these factors like oligospermia, acinospermia, teratozoospermia, and the patient is not able to conceive after 1 or 2 years of their married life, then we generally advise them IVF. And in these cases, nowadays we are doing ICSI, that is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, to improve the success rate of IVF. What is the difference between IVF and ICSI? In ICSI, we directly inject one sperm into the mature egg. So when we are doing ICSI, we just need the number of sperms which are required for the number of mature eggs that the female partner has. So we generally need 15-20 sperms maximum. Sometimes we need less than that also. So if the count is very low, less than 1 million also, or if the motility is not there in the semen analysis sample, then also we can achieve good pregnancy rates and we can have live birth rates with the help of ICSI. Nowadays we are doing ICSI in almost all our cases. This was about the count and motility, if the count and motility is less. Second thing which we see nowadays is that if we find no sperms in the ejaculate, that is known as azoospermia. So if there are no sperms in the ejaculate, it can be because of obstructive problem or non-obstructive problem. If it is the obstructive problem, it is very easy. We can do a testicular biopsy, take out the sperms, and those sperms can be used for IVF with ICSI, and we can successfully give them good pregnancy rates. But if it is non-obstructive azoospermia, that means the formation of sperms is less in the testis because of some reason. It can be hormonal, it can be testicular injury, it can be any infection in the past which has led to the less formation of sperms in the testis. In those cases, we can do testicular biopsy and we can see whether there are some sperms in the testis which can be used for ICSI later on. Or we can do, if we don't find sperms, we can also do micro-TESI. It is a new technique in which we take the patient on the OT table and under anesthesia, we open the testis, and then under microscope, we see which of the tubules are looking healthy to us, from where we can take the biopsy and see whether any sperm formation is there in those healthy tubules. So sometimes when we don't find any sperms in normal testicular biopsy, in 30-40% of these cases also, one can find sperms in micro-TESI which can be used for IVF and they can have their own biological child. So by using testicular biopsy and micro-TESI, patients who have non-obstructive azoospermia, they can also have their own biological child in 30 to 40% of cases. In cases where we don't find sperms in micro-TESI also, then these patients has to resort to donor sperms which can then be used for IUI or IVF. If the patient is young, we can use donors for IUI. If the patient is more than 35 and has other factors for IVF, then we can do IVF with donor sperms. So these are the common things which nowadays we are doing for male infertility. Sometimes the patient has poor morphology of sperms, which can be a reason for failed IVF. In those cases, with ICSI, sometimes we add additional sperm selection techniques like PICSI or microfluidics. These can be added during the semen sperm selection process of IVF, where we can add more physiologically better sperms, and then we can use these physiologically better sperms for ICSI, which adds to the sperm selection, and this can give better pregnancy rates. So thank you. This was all in brief about male infertility. If you have any doubts regarding your infertility or male infertility or female infertility, you can directly come in contact with Baby Science IVF Clinics or cureindia.com. Thank you.
Если вы заинтересованы в лечении ВИНЖи, пожалуйста, подпишитесь на наш канал. Нажмите на значок колокольчика, чтобы никогда не пропустить новые видео от нас.